So you're set for your immigrant visa interview at the U.S. Consulate. So congratulations, we're at the final step of getting your U.S. residency or your green card. A couple things you need to know. First, at this point, you have probably been scheduled for your medical exam. One of the things that you need to know about your medical exam is that this doctor is not your doctor. So if you go to a doctor in the United States and you tell them whatever you want to tell them, they cannot repeat that to anybody else. This is not your doctor. This is a doctor for the United States. So everything you tell this doctor, they will repeat to the consular officer that's going to do your interview. So there's no medical condition that you can have that would prevent you from getting your permanent residency. But there are some questions they're going to ask that you need to be aware of. First off, they're going to ask you if you use drugs. And if you say that you use drugs, that will be repeated to the consular officer, and they will deny your visa. I bring this up because in many states, marijuana is either legal, or in many states, people can get medical marijuana. And they're specifically going to ask, do you use marijuana? So even if you have a medical marijuana license that is legal in your state, marijuana of all forms is illegal on the federal level. Immigration law is dictated by federal law. So if you use marijuana, including medical marijuana, they are most likely going to deny your visa. If you have any tattoos, they're going to take pictures of all of your tattoos. It's okay if you have tattoos, but they're going to take a picture of the tattoos and they're going to share those pictures with the officer that's going to do your interview. And if those tattoos have anything to do with gang membership, you run the risk of your visa being denied. Last, they're going to ask you, do you drink alcohol? And how often do you drink alcohol? It's okay if somebody drinks alcohol, but if somebody drinks alcohol every night or gets drunk daily, their visa will probably be denied. So if somebody occasionally drinks alcohol or on special occasions or weekends, that's okay. But if it's habitual, as in every day, to the point of getting drunk, they're most likely going to deny the visa. So that's what you need to know about the medical exam. Again, there's no conditions that you can have that would cause them to deny your immigrant visa. Okay, so some consulates want to take your fingerprints. They're doing a background check if you've ever been to the United States. Almost all consulates require that you present some kind of police certificate. At this point, we've gotten that and provided that. You will have to bring the original to the interview. Okay, so then your interview. First off, what I tell most people is when you go to your interview, you will be waiting for longer than your interview will last. Keep in mind, this consular officer that's going to do the interview has already received all the information. It has everything electronically. You're going to be waiting. When you do the interview, there's very few questions that they're going to ask, but they're important questions. So most of the consulates, you will be talking to somebody almost like you're talking to someone in a bank. You're going to be talking to somebody through a glass in a stall. Your spouse or the petitioner is not allowed to be there. Your attorney is not allowed to be there. You're going to be there by yourself. And the questions will be, first, they're going to tell you to raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth. At that point, you're under oath. You have to tell the truth. They're going to ask you your name, your full name. They're going to ask you if you ever used any other names, your date of birth. They're confirming your identity. They're going to ask you if you are a citizen of any other country. They need to do security investigations into those countries. Next, they're going to ask you how many times have you entered the United States. So if somebody has multiple entries into the United States and they've accrued more than 1 year of unlawful presence in the United States, then left the United States and then came back in illegally, they may not be eligible for a visa. So they're going to ask how many times have you entered the United States. And if you did enter the United States multiple times, did you enter illegally? And whether you entered illegally or legally, did you accrue more than 1 year of unlawful presence and then leave and then re-enter illegally? So that's something they're looking for. They're going to ask if you've ever been deported. If you've been deported, it's important that we have already filed and it's been approved a Form I-212, which is consent to reapply for a visa. They're going to ask how many times have you been arrested, not just in the United States, but anywhere in the world. If we're at the point of getting an interview for you at the U.S. Consulate, we believe even if you have arrests that you qualify for your residency or green card. And if not, we believe that you're eligible for a waiver. So next, they're going to ask if you entered the United States illegally, who did you enter with? Because the United States takes the position that if somebody entered illegally and brought their child, that's a form of smuggling. There's a waiver that's available for that. So they will ask when you entered, if you entered illegally, who did you enter with? They want to know if you entered with a child, your own child. Those are the questions that they're going to ask. Again, it's going to be a short interview. This process has been a long process. The reason the interview is short is because the officer already has all the information. They're just confirming some things and asking a couple other questions. But at this point, we believe you're eligible for the residency, for your green card. We look forward to hearing about the results. Now, what can they do? First off, if they take your passport, that's a good sign. Because what that means is they're going to send your passport to the DHL location that we've already designated. And in that passport is going to be your immigrant visa. That means you can enter the United States with that visa. And the moment you enter, you are automatically a permanent resident of the United States. The other option they can do is they can give you a blue piece of paper. It's usually blue, with documents or something, information that they need. And that's okay if they do that. Take a picture of it, send it to us. We're going to help you respond, get whatever information they need, it will respond. In any event, no matter what happens, whether they take your passport, whether they give you a piece of paper requesting more documents, let us know, call us. It's on our schedule. We're waiting for your call. Can't wait to hear how it happens. And we're happy for you. This is the final step of you getting your permanent resident status.